Well, hello, my sweet peeps, my lovelies, my everything. I'm here today to tell you about chapter 6 of my story, Uninvited. And I have a few pictures to show you here. Again, this is my sister and my family in this picture. My twin sister and I, and this is how old I was when I first ran away from home. Just so you know, I was about that big. I'm the one in the white shirt, okay, in that picture. Now, when we got baptized, we were together. And I don't know if I showed you this picture, but we were baptized at the Catholic Church together, my twin and I. So, here's another funny picture. This guy here on the, that's me over here. And this guy here seemed to always want to have me in his clutches. And look at that car. That's me and my little sister there, the one that got her face shoved into the cookie on the floor. She's right here, Kathy, the little one. And there's my twin in the red. And our mama. Okay? So, and I always really loved animals. I'm here washing the dog, the black lab, out there in the property on the ranch. And I love kids, so you could always find me trying to pick up somebody's kid or babysitting, as you will see in my little story here. I have always loved kids and my sisters. So there you have that. And I was in gymnastics. So here I am in gymnastics showing my mom, you know, how great I am. You know how you want to prove to your mom that you're so fantastic? You see? Here I am with my twin. I can't let go of her hand. I love this picture because I love her ever so dearly. She was always my best friend. So, I'm going to read to you the rest of my story here. I'm going to show you some pictures of my papa. He had a plumbing company. Here he is with my older sister, Loretta. And his name was Harry. And as you can see, she was a year older than us. So, here I am with her in my bedroom making a puzzle. She was also my best friend and still is. And as a matter of fact, I call her my green angel now. She's my green angel. And here we are together again. The three of us. My twin sister is in the red socks. Okay? I'm the one there in the white socks. If you want to do a sock check. Alright? And then we had made our dad a cake, which was a toilet. And let me see if there's anything else. Me doing a dive into the swimming pool. I told you I was a gymnast. And so, not only were the cards stacked against me, I was out of my league. We lived on Sagamore Way for a few years until the house grew too small for us. I went to Eagle Rock High School. Junior high. I was in 6th grade when I moved in with my papa and felt very alone and out of place. I did have a whole new wardrobe, but I just didn't fit in. I missed my sisters. I would go home every day from school and beg my papa to go get my twin. I was helping out around the house. It was my job to keep it neat and tidy. I felt like I had been rescued and I wanted to rescue my sisters. Dorothy, my stepmom, took me to get a haircut. She took me to get an ice cream cone. And we even went to the pet store. I fell in love with 2 little hamsters, so she bought them for me. I really was liking Dorothy, very much so. I really do love her to this very day. I walked over the hill to go to school every day by myself. It was a good long walk. I soon had a job babysitting for people that worked with my dad. I remember Nick and Sue Wick paying me $3 an hour to babysit. It was great because they had these two little cute boys that were very easy to babysit. In fact, so easy I don't even remember them hardly. Then I started babysitting Michael and Curtis. Their mom, Sandy, was an amazing woman, and their dad, Monroe, was cool also. He looked like a movie star, and he was super, super nice, super classy. And she's amazing. If you knew her story, she's just an amazing woman. They really became part of my family, as did Dorothy and her daughter Carol, who was kind of like an aunt to me. And Carol had a daughter named Brandy, who I ended up babysitting quite often and pretty much practically lived with them. They lived in La Cañada, and Brandy was just a little toddler, so I babysat her also. Dorothy signed me up for the YMCA in La Cañada, where I became a Girl Scout. Me and my twin. They had a huge house in La Cañada with a pool, a tennis court, horse stables. They had a riding trail that went all around through the neighborhood. It still does. It goes all the way through the whole neighborhood. It's really cool. Behind the back of the houses. They also had a guest house behind the swimming pool where we could hide. We could hide back there. It had a kitchen, a fireplace, the whole 9 yards. And Carol was a decorator, so it was very, very lovely, my peeps. Carol had 2 stepchildren, Laura and Jack Poet. We had great fun together. She was like my stepsister, Laura. Brandy too, but Brandy was just a toddler. Laura and I would sneak out at night and roam the neighborhood. One night we got somebody to buy us a pack of Marlboro Reds. And she's the first one I ever smoked with. She talked me into it, actually. We got matches with the cigarettes back then, and the cigarettes taste way better when lit with a match, believe me. We ran and hid in the bushes from any passing cars and from the cops as well, as to not get caught smoking cigarettes. I don't smoke anymore. We finally got a chance to pick up my twin sister, and soon my other sisters would arrive as well. One night I was sleeping and something woke me up. I looked down the hall and a very tall man was walking towards me. He had a tall black hat. He had like black boots, a long black trench coat, black pants, black leather gloves. I didn't know who he was. It looked as though he walked right through the stained glass window on the door in the hallway. I was paralyzed. I couldn't move. Couldn't even move an inch. He walked all the way up to my open door on my bedroom. I just stared at him. I couldn't even budge. I was terrified. So I just held my breath and counted to 3 and jumped up and ran right through him. He walked behind me and floated back out the door. I jumped in my dad's bed. He was already sitting straight up. "Did you see him? Did you see him?" "Yes, I saw him." "Who was it?" "That was Abraham Lincoln." "He came to see you," my dad said. I was scared half to death until I found out who it was. He looked so real. It was unbelievable. Anyway, I felt safe. When my sisters moved in with us, we started walking to school together and sharing the chores. My twin and I were very competitive gymnasts, and we actually made it to the state finals. We loved to dance and sing, so we would put on little concerts for our dad and his friends in the living room. It was great fun. I was a huge Barbra Streisand fan. I still am. I wish I could sing like Barbra Streisand. Anyway, we were busy in school, and in the summer we would sell Girl Scout cookies and earn our way to go to camp, or candy-covered peanuts. I sold more than anyone. Nobody could beat me. I would even sell some for my sisters to help them. We went to Yosemite National Park one summer. It was great fun also. We even... there was an earthquake while we were there, and then one time when I went into the bathroom, I ran into a black bear in the bathroom, and I just quietly backed right back out of the bathroom when I saw it. It was up in the corner, in all the way to the corner of the bathroom, past like 3 stalls. So I had time to just back out. It was just looking at me, and I realized it was stuck in there, so I just held the door open until it came out and ran. And so it just ran away. It was more scared of me than I was of it. And then one time my sister and I were stuck at inside the bathroom at our elementary school overnight, because we went in there to wash our hands and the door slammed shut on us. I think there was like a little brick in the door, and the brick got loose and the door slammed shut, and there were no windows or anything in the bathroom, just like a brick bathroom doors and everything. We had to wait till the cleaning guy got there in the morning to let us out. It was horrible. So I think I have claustrophobia because of that experience, actually. So our dad was in the Marine Corps, so everything he did, we had to do, had to be everything we did had to be spick and span. Not even a water spot on the glasses. We would have to bounce a coin off our bed to make sure it was up to code. Yeah. I kind of felt like those kids in that movie, The Sound of Music. The way their dad would make them line up in the living room. That's kind of like what we had to do. The night he made me clean the glasses and all the dishes in the cupboards in the kitchen, and made me sleep on the floor because he got home in the middle of the night, like 1:30 in the morning. He had been drinking, and he went in the kitchen and saw a spot on the glasses. So he got me out of bed and took me in the kitchen and made me take out all the glasses and dishes and silverware and everything in the kitchen and rewash it all and dry it all off and put it all away with no water spots on any of it before I can go to bed. And then I had to sleep on the floor next to his bed and then get up in the morning and go to school. And it was pretty mean. So I had to do that. And then another time he came home in the middle of the night because he started drinking and then coming home and taking these things out on us. And he would wake me up in the middle of the night, and there would be like a water spot on the sink in the bathroom, and he would take the can of Comet, a can of Comet, which is all powder stuff, and he would throw it all over the whole bathroom, all over the toilet, the sink, the mirrors, the floor, everywhere, and then make me clean it all off and clean the whole bathroom, and then, go to bed and sleep on the floor next to his bed. And I don't remember him doing that to my sisters, so, it was very difficult. And he'd make me sleep on the floor next to the bed without a blanket or a pillow also. But then I met, but it says here my dad would be drunk and I'd have to go drag him out of a bar or go get him and bring him home and tell the women in the bar that he was married. So, that alcohol, I highly do not recommend it. But when I met my Auntie Artie, it was Easter, and we went over to her house, and she loved butterflies, so she had butterflies all over her house, but it was Easter time, and she had this big, huge basket of candy on her coffee table, and I was just like, wow. It was full of chocolate and a big, huge Easter bunny. She let me take a piece of candy out of there, and I was like sitting there on the couch eating the candy, just while they talked and stuff, completely quiet. And then when we got up to leave, this is something I never forgot. She got up. This lady was so sweet. I called her my Auntie Artie. And she was an artist. But she got up and she got that huge basket off the coffee table and gave it to me. The whole thing with all that candy. I was amazed. She was amazing. There were some amazing women in my life. I mean, I just stared at that candy basket, and she, of course, let me take a piece of the candy, and then when I left, she gave me the whole basket. And then Sandy and Monroe, the lady Sandy that I told you about, she saved us one time from a whole gang of bandits that were after us. I'll tell you about that later, but she's amazing. She saved all of us girls from these people when we were camping. But my dad would tell everyone that I took care of the household. I was so happy to be there. I wanted to learn everything and anything I could. I washed the clothes and ironed all the uniforms for his employees. I cooked, did the dishes, mowed the lawns, washed the cars, cleaned the house. I even washed the vans that his workers used to drive. I would soon come to find out that it would never be good enough. He would come home drunk in the middle of the night and get me out of bed. You see this, dragging me in my pajamas into the bathroom. You see this, water spot? You see that? Where, Dad, where? He would be sure to show me and then grab a container of Comet under the sink and throw the powder all over everywhere, like I told you. And then, you know, the hill that my sisters and I, well, wait a minute, where am I at now? That kind of got me off a little bit about the dishes. But anyway, it says here that I'd get up at 5:30 in the morning to get breakfast ready, do the dishes, put the dishes away before I walked over the hill to school with my sisters. He always told me I was hit with an ugly stick. If I said something he didn't like at the dining room table, he would smack me in the face, in the mouth. The Marine Corps, wow. Unbelievable. We had a German Shepherd named Justimir. I loved that German Shepherd. I walked him and fed him every day and kept him brushed and cleaned. Our dad named him Justimir because he was just a puppy when we got him. And then we had some neighbors across the street named Cliff and Sandy White. And I called him my Uncle Cliff. He worked at the Rampart Division. He was a detective. And his wife, Shirley, her name was Shirley, was always baking cookies and cakes for us. Really sweet lady, peeps. My dad was a great cook also, and the Galloping Gourmet was his Bible, and I learned how to cook from this book and from my dad. He got a dune buggy, so we would go to Pismo Beach to ride the dune buggy, and it was great fun. It was really fun. I wanted to stay there. He was always involved in some kind of project, and I loved to help him, hand him tools or whatever. We soon had to move into a bigger house because all of my sisters were living with us now. So we moved to a 2-story house on Hoover Street, and we had to change schools and go to Belmont High School in East Los Angeles. So that was a pretty big change. I'll tell you about that in my next episode. And we did one summer, after we sold Girl Scout cookies and everything, we got to go to the Catalina Islands, my twin sister and I. And I was going to tell you about this glass-bottom boat that we went out on. And we got stuck in this cesspool that was going around and around, taking us around. And the glass-bottom boat broke. The glass on the bottom of the boat broke. And it was just her and I. And we were out in the ocean. And the boat sank. So, and she was panicking, but there was some kind of thing under that thing that was going around that you can stand on, but it would drag you down and pull you under. So I had to grab her and get us out of that cesspool thing and then just start swimming to the side of the mountain, but it was all rocks and everything, and I got her up there, and I had a knife because we were hiking and stuff. We were learning how to be Girl Scouts. And I had a paddle from the boat, but we lost the other paddle. So when I got her up on the rocks, her feet were still down in the water, and there was an eel coming right with his teeth and everything right for her leg. And I had to stab it with a knife to get it off of her. Otherwise, I don't know what would have happened. It was huge, though. And so I got awarded and everything at the camp for doing that, saving my sister. But, you know, it was pretty scary. Anyway, I'll go on to next week. I'll update you on chapter number 7 and what was going on from the time that we moved from Sagamore Way to Hoover Street. Let me know if you want to hear more about my story, and I'll tell you more, okay? Much love, you all. I want to hear all about your stories, too, okay? Ta-ta.